In a world where money often means fancy stuff, it's always nice to meet people who think differently. Instead of spending big bucks on fancy things, many billionaires are choosing to live simple lives. As the saying goes, money talks and wealth whispers. There are many people who follow this saying, but some take it to next level. Let's take a look at 8 super-rich actors who live like regular people. They prove that a happy life isn't about how much you spend, but about what's important to you. Stick around to the end because some of these are very surprising and number 1 will shock you. Elijah Wood. Remember Elijah Wood, our beloved Frodo from The Lord of the Rings? After starring in a movie that made over $1.1 billion worldwide, you might think he'd live a fancy life. But Elijah is a down-to-earth guy. Instead of buying a huge mansion, he lives in a cute old house in Austin, Texas. It's a fixer-upper from 1890 with high ceilings and lots of character. It's like a little piece of history. Elijah doesn't like to spend a lot of money on fancy things. He's more interested in music and has a great collection of vinyl records. He also drives a few practical cars like an Audi A4 and a Mini Cooper S. When he's not playing Frodo, he likes to keep things simple and efficient. Elijah is a really nice guy, too. He cares about other people and often donates to many charities, and honestly, he's just like a real hobbit. Even though he's rich, he doesn't show it off. He's happy with the things he has and doesn't need a lot of stuff. He once said, "When I reflect on my career, I can recognize a pattern, but I don't strategize. I just follow my heart, and that leads me to interesting and sometimes unexpected places. If I'm remembered for that, that's kind of rad." Keanu Reeves. We've all dreamed about what we'd do if we were incredibly rich. But Keanu Reeves has all that money and still lives a simple life. Keanu, the Canadian actor known for his roles in movies like The Matrix and John Wick, is worth a whopping $380 million. He's been acting since the 1980s and made a lot of money from the Matrix trilogy. Even though he's very rich, Keanu doesn't live a fancy life. He had a tough childhood because his dad left when he was little. His mom had to move around a lot for work, so Keanu didn't have a stable home. This helped him stay grounded. He also lost some important people in his life, like his friend River Phoenix and his girlfriend Jennifer Syme. These sad things made him appreciate life more and want to help others. Keanu lives in a regular apartment in Los Angeles instead of a big mansion. He says he likes to keep things simple and comfortable. He even has some houseplants that he talks to. When it comes to cars, Keanu drives a Honda Accord, which is a reliable and practical car. He doesn't want to show off his wealth. He once said, "Money doesn't mean anything to me. I've made a lot of money, but I want to enjoy life and not stress myself building my bank account." Keanu is also a great person. He donates millions of dollars to children's hospitals and cancer research. He once gave a lot of his money from The Matrix to the people who worked on the movie. He believes that money isn't the most important thing in life. He loves acting and working with talented people. Zoe DeChanel. The next person on our list is known as the frugal fashionista. Yes, you guessed it. We are talking about Zoe DeChanel. Zoe DeChanel, known for her quirky roles and unique charm, has carved out a niche in Hollywood that matches her offbeat persona. Despite her $25 million net worth, DeChanel leads a surprisingly modest life, proving that you don't need a fortune to live comfortably. Her home in the Hollywood Hills, which she snagged for a mere $1.69 million, is a cozy modern retreat rather than an extravagant mansion. Unlike her on-screen character Jess, who might have turned the place into a hipster wonderland with endless mason jars and DIY crafts, DeChanel's space is elegant and sweet. When it comes to spending, Zoe is as frugal as Schmidt, who is obsessive about cleanliness. Her monthly expenses are just a fraction of her income, leaving her plenty of room for savings. This savvy financial planning came to light during her divorce proceedings when it was revealed she spent about $22,500 a month from her $95,000 income. DeChanel's simplicity extends to her wardrobe too. She shuns designer labels for thrift store finds, proving that style isn't about the price tag. As she once said, "Style isn't when you buy yourself the most expensive things." Just like Jess Day, Zoe finds joy in the little things like her trusty ukulele and her impressive thrift store collection. Not content to rest on her laurels, Zoe co-founded HelloGiggles.com, a positive space for women that fights negativity with a quirky smile and a warm hug. While she might break out into random songs, Zoe's song of choice is one of empowerment and smart living. Zoe's modest appeal is refreshing, but don't let it fool you. She's still a successful actress with a thriving career. Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley, the swashbuckling star of Pirates of the Caribbean, may have a net worth of $80 million, but she lives more like a thrifty heroine in a Jane Austen novel than a Hollywood diva. With a financial discipline that would make even Mr. Darcy proud, Knightley allocates herself a modest $5,000 a year for personal spending. Living in a charming London townhouse with her husband, musician James Wrighton, and their children, Knightley's home life is as down-to-earth as her wedding. The ceremony was so intimate that it had fewer guests than a typical pirate crew, and her wedding dress was a recycled Chanel number she'd worn multiple times before. Despite her blockbuster earnings from films like Atonement and The Imitation Game, and a lucrative Chanel endorsement deal, Knightley also very much shuns the lavish lifestyle. She believes that living extravagantly can create a rift between her and the everyday folks whom she cherishes for their ability to share a laugh over the simple joys in life. You're still becoming, you know you're not who you are going to be. Knightley's financial prudence was on full display during her divorce proceedings, where it was revealed that her company, Kickboo Limited, earned $2.5 million in film fees and deals, yet she paid herself only around $53,000. Imagine trying to explain that to a pirate crew. Knightley's lifestyle choices make her relatable and grounded. She's just like us, except with an Oscar nomination and the ability to pull off a corset like nobody's business. Her modest approach to life is a refreshing reminder that even amidst the glitz and glamour, sometimes the best treasures are the simple ones. Just don't expect her to trade her thrift store finds for black pearl gold anytime soon. Keira was an Oscar nominee, but next we have an Oscar winner living like a whole-ass regular person, Halle Berry. It's a lot of money. Halle Berry, with a net worth of $90 million, might seem like she should be living in a diamond-encrusted castle. But instead, she keeps things down to earth like a true thrift store queen. Despite her Bond girl status and Oscar-winning performance in Monsters Ball, Halle's financial habits are more modest than the budget of a B-movie. Raised by a single mother after her parents' divorce, Berry learned early on the importance of frugality. Her childhood wasn't exactly a fairy tale, unless you count Cinderella with more thrift store finds and fewer fairy godmothers. This upbringing has kept her grounded. Berry once spent weeks living in a homeless shelter and YMCA in New York while chasing her acting dreams. Talk about dedication and a solid lesson in the value of a good bargain. These days, while her life is certainly more comfortable, Halle still fears she might lose it all, so she shops the sale racks like the rest of us mere mortals. It's not every day you picture a Bond girl elbow deep in a clearance bin, but here we are. Even her wedding was a study in modesty. Halle kept the guest list so short it could fit in a Mini Cooper, proving that sometimes less really is more. She credits her thrifty ways to her mother, who clearly knew how to stretch a dollar further than Mr. Fantastic. Berry's illustrious career, from her daring role in Jungle Fever to her iconic Catwoman performance, has amassed her considerable wealth. Yet, she still enjoys the simple pleasures of life like bargain hunting and sipping wine on her patio. And yes, that viral photo of her doing just that, sans clothes, proves she's all about comfort and doing what she wants. Berry is definitely one of the more down-to-earth Hollywood A-listers. But unlike a certain fan favorite whose most exciting night is what he's going to find in his daughter's diaper, Berry's hobbies definitely do include some more lavish spendings. Christian Bale. Let's talk about Batman or American Psycho. It sounds a bit random, but it's always good to talk about the Dark Knight, especially when he's the complete opposite of Bruce Wayne. Christian Bale, with a terrifying black suit, an ultra-modern cave beneath his lavish mega-mansion, and cars and gadgets worth millions, is definitely the most luxurious crime fighter in the DC universe. Well, at least the best portrayed one to date. Christian Bale, The man behind Batman's mask in the Dark Knight trilogy might seem like he should be zooming around in a Batmobile even off-screen. But no, Bale prefers to navigate the streets of Los Angeles in his trusty, nearly 2-decade-old Toyota Tacoma TRD. You might want to rewind and hear that again. Yes, a Toyota Tacoma TRD, a car as luxurious as your grandma's teeth in a jar. While Bruce Wayne drives a Lamborghini, Bale is content with his second-hand pickup truck. Maybe he just likes the challenge of fitting his cape into the trunk. Bale's career has spanned some of the most iconic roles in Hollywood. From the yuppie psychopath in American Psycho to the intense and brooding Bruce Wayne, you'd think with all that method acting he'd be method spending too. And you'd be surprised to know that he was paid far less for his amazing role in American Psycho. Christian Bale says he was paid the absolute minimum they were legally allowed to pay me for his breakout role in American Psycho. But Bale avoids the flashy lifestyle, opting instead to live in a modest house with the frills of an extravagant Hollywood pad. He even goes to the supermarket himself, probably picking up bat snacks and Joker-approved pudding cups. During the filming of Public Enemies, Bale turned down the chance to stay in a luxury villa. Instead, he chose more humble accommodations. Perhaps he was just keeping it real for his role as notorious bank robber John Dillinger. Or maybe he just prefers to live like a common folk hero. Despite his wealth, Bale's approach to life is refreshingly low-key. He doesn't have an assistant, drives an old truck, and reportedly enjoys a good bargain. Something that he has in common with other epic heroes of the silver screen. I mean, what's up with superhero actors and their modest lifestyles? Do they really enjoy living on the edge of poverty just to be more relatable? Leonardo DiCaprio. Imagine a guy who survived a sinking ship, fought a bear, and even danced with wolves. That's Leonardo DiCaprio, a Hollywood heavyweight worth $300 million. You'd think he'd live in a fancy mansion made of gold, but he doesn't. Leo lives in a nice house in Los Angeles, but it's not too fancy. He also has a private island in Belize, which is a bit more extravagant, but he uses it to protect the environment, so nothing like his role in The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about this money. Leo is really passionate about protecting the planet. He spends his money on green things and supports people who are trying to help the environment. He's like the poster boy for saving the planet. He shows us that you can be rich and still make a difference. At the top of our list is someone who's sure to surprise you. This celebrity is known for their extravagant lifestyle, but in reality they're surprisingly frugal. Jennifer Lawrence. I was raised to have value for money, to have respect for money even though you have a lot of it, Lawrence told the UK magazine Fabulous. We are talking about a famous movie star who, even though she's won an Oscar, still chooses to live a simple life. She's not only a great actress, but also a humble person. Jennifer became famous for her roles in The Hunger Games and Silver Linings Playbook. She's made a lot of money and won an Oscar, but she doesn't live like a fancy queen. Instead of buying a big house with lots of rooms and fancy things, Jennifer lives in a regular apartment. She even shops at IKEA. She said that she enjoys putting together furniture, even though it can be tricky. Jennifer is also very generous. She gives a lot of money to charities and speaks out about important issues like equal rights for women. She's a great role model. Jennifer is different from other famous people. She's not afraid to be herself and doesn't care about having the most expensive things. She's happy with the simple things in life, like spending time with her family and friends. Jennifer is a superstar who is also a regular person. She's a great actress, a kind person, and a good role model. These celebrities prove that you don't need a lot of money to live a good life. They're happy with the simple things and don't care about showing off their wealth. So the next time you think of Hollywood A-listers, remember that they're just like us.